In 19th century New York, battalions of volunteer firefighters fought each other just for the right to put out a fire.
Go get 'em, boys!
In the gangs of New York, public safety was sacrificed for some childish territorial thing.
May I point out that this building is burning to ashes?
And may I point out that this area is the province of my own America's Fire Brigade.
But if your house was burning down, you'd want the closest first responders, right? And could care less about petty infighting.
What's the point? The fire's never burned anything of value inside.
That's why the folks who live in parts of Williamson County, northeast of Austin, should be outraged. Even some of the firefighters are brave enough to speak out.
It's a snowball effect of negligence, honestly. A house could burn down. Someone could die.
463, come in, go ahead.
There are at least 14 different fire departments in this one Texas county. In much of eastern Williamson, the towns of Copeland and Thrall, fire service is provided by Emergency Services District 10. The folks who live here pay taxes to pay for it. The area is booming.
With the changes coming to this part of the county, in large part driven by the arrival of Samsung, we have to adapt and grow to meet the challenges the future will bring.
Way on the north side of the county is another tax-supported volunteer fire department, ESD 6, headquartered in Weir. The two ESDs have their own automatic aid agreement. Williamson County Dispatch knows they're sending trucks from both departments to the same fire, responses that can take often an hour. And they're intentionally ignoring other fire departments that are much closer to help.
Whoopsie daisy!
It really doesn't make any sense and why nothing has been done about it yet. And I'm still completely baffled about why that keeps happening.
On December 27th, ESD 10 was automatically dispatched to a house fire in Weir in ESD 6, about 24 miles away. While far out of their own territory, two people got trapped in an 18-wheeler accident in Copeland. We know at least one closer fire department that could have responded wasn't even called.
I heard some popping and ticking.
Yeah.
Sound like firecrackers.
Uh-huh.
And I just looked up, I seen smoke and it was all in flames.
This is what it looked like after fire roared through Judith's home. She lives just a few blocks from the Thrall fire station.
About 20 minutes or so?
Yeah, I know it's about 15-20 minutes. If you're driving, well, if you drive pretty good, it's 15-20 minutes away. I know that much.
Williamson County fire records show it took 15 minutes. But again, ESD 6 was called to respond, even though they were coming from at least 45 minutes away. And again, a fire department just 8 miles away was ignored, something Williamson County should never have allowed.
If someone who got here just a couple minutes earlier, it wouldn't have been that
Could have
bad.
saved it.
Yeah, just a couple minutes, that's all it took.
When 4 medical calls dropped in ESD 10 during that same fire, dispatchers asked if they wanted help from a nearby Avery Pickett Volunteer Fire Department, which operates right next door to ESD 10. The answer was no. In November, ESD 6 was asked to bring a tender, a used water truck, to a reported house fire in ESD 10 all the way across the county. It took 64 minutes for the firefighters and the water to show up. ESD 10 and Williamson County Dispatch failed to send water trucks that were much closer, just 8 miles away.
We were 8 minutes away and we were not called for that fire. And they knew that we were there.
Luckily, that house didn't burn down, but this is a clear case of mismanaged fire dispatching. They haven't started fistfights, but someone needs to get these feuding fire departments in line.
Challenge accepted. It's very disheartening to know that a fire chief in this area would put his community at risk, his citizens at risk, and his firefighters at risk over some sort of backhanded agreement that doesn't make sense.
John Shelton has been the fire chief for Avery Pickett Volunteers since the last chief got busted for corruption. Their money doesn't come from taxes but bingo proceeds, but they've got plenty of fire trucks, water tanks, even a ladder truck. And they want to warn Williamson County residents of potential danger. You've asked them for help recently.
Yes.
And they said no.
Yes.
When Avery Pickett asked for help from ESD 10 in early December for a spreading grass fire, listen to the response from the ESD 10 fire chief, Mark Molenberg.
It will be in Avery Pickett's jurisdiction.
Receive. All ESD 10 units can clear the call. Avery Pickett will let them continue to handle that.
Now listen to the voice of the Avery Pickett firefighter on the scene.
Show all Copeland units to clear the scene, even though we have active fire, and return to their quarters.
It could have been a real structure fire. Right?
We would have lost the house. and potentially some lives.
The obvious tension blew up at this public meeting in December when Avery Pickett firefighters showed up.
Chief Monberg, you failed me. You disappoint me. You've let me down and my crew down.
Anytime a chief takes it upon themselves to abandon a mutual aid response, that chief is now gambling with the lives of first responders and citizens. There is no place within emergency services for this type of behavior.
It's idiocy. It is detrimental to lives and property. There's nothing beneficial about doing that. Nobody's winning by doing that. Nobody.
Add to the chaos, volunteer firefighters in ESD 6 threatened to resign en masse if Chief Charlie Freimeyer didn't quit. He just did. And we've learned ESD 10's treatment of Avery Pickett is part of a master plan to annex the folks who now get their fire service from this 100-year-old volunteer fire department. It covers up to 45 square miles of Williamson County. The plan also includes adding a sales tax to fire service. Is it about better fire department response or more money for ESD 10? See those Williamson County Sheriff's deputies? They were sent to protect the ESD board president one night, only because they knew we were coming to the Copeland Fire Station for their public meeting, armed and dangerous with our microphone and camera. We don't like when public safety is jeopardized. How dare us? I'm sorry?
We're not going to be answering any questions, thank you.
Well, I wasn't talking to you, thank you.
I'm telling you.
Why are we refusing to answer any questions? There's no comment about the use of public funds? The ESD president is an apparent big shot in these parts, president of the local farm bureau. The taxpayers out there are seeing you act like this. To simple questions. Are you not used to questions? The Williamson County commissioners who just reappointed him should now call for his resignation instead, just for the nonsense we endured.
You clear the room down. The meeting is closed.
I'm out of order in a public building? Asking a public official questions? That's out of order?
Would you ask him to leave, please?
The meeting is closed, sir.
They want you away from the building now.
From a public building. This is a government building. This is a government building.
You don't have a right to go
okay.
into part of the government
And you tell me that they're going to charge me with trespassing for asking questions? Kind of makes you wonder what else is going on here. The deputies were later thanked in emails for trying to block legitimate questions about public safety. Quoting, Wayne Dolcepino from Houston had to be escorted out of the meeting because of his confrontational behavior. It's actually called the First Amendment. You guys should read up on it. No, you're throwing me out. If you tell a sheriff's deputy to put his hand on me, you're throwing me out. Well, you just told him, you looked at him and said, get out.
Let's just look. No, we did not do that.
Well,
I'm telling you.
do I look stupid?
Closed.
Do I look
Everybody
stupid to
clear
you?
the room, please.
Okay, well, no one else is leaving. We'll be back. ESD 10 still hasn't produced financial records we've been asking for since November. Williamson County taxpayers deserve better.
It's like enough is enough. It's reckless, and we don't want to deal with it anymore.